The church was silent except for the faint rustle of silk dresses and the creak of polished shoes against the wooden pews. I stood at the altar, my palms slick with sweat, my heart hammering so loud I swore the stained glass saints above could hear it. Emily, my bride-to-be, glowed in her white gown, her smile radiant as she walked down the aisle, her father's arm steadying her. Everyone thought this was the moment, the culmination of our love story. But I knew something they didn't. In my pocket, a USB drive burned like a coal, holding a truth that would shatter this perfect scene. 3 months earlier, I'd been a man in love, blind to the cracks in our foundation. Emily and I had been together for 4 years, ever since we met at a mutual friend's barbecue. She'd laughed at my terrible attempt at flipping burgers, her eyes crinkling with warmth, and I was gone. She was witty, ambitious, a graphic designer who could make a blank canvas sing. I was a high school history teacher, steady and predictable, but she made me feel like I could be more. We moved in together after a year, got engaged after 3. Our life felt like a dream I didn't deserve. But dreams have a way of hiding shadows. It started with small things, her phone buzzing at odd hours, her sudden need for space during late-night work sessions. I chalked it up to stress. Her design firm was pitching a big client, and she'd been working overtime. "It's just temporary, Nate," she'd say, her voice soft, her hand brushing my cheek. I believed her because I wanted to, because love makes you stupid. Then came the night that broke me. It was a Tuesday, unremarkable except for the rain that pounded the windows of our apartment. Emily was supposed to be at a client dinner, but she'd left her laptop open on the kitchen table. I wasn't snooping, not really. I just needed to check my email, and her laptop was closer than mine. But when I touched the trackpad, the screen woke to a chat window. Not work-related. Not innocent. Messages between Emily and someone named Jay. Words like "miss you" and "last night was incredible" burned into my retinas. My hands shook as I scrolled, each message a knife twisting deeper. They'd been meeting for months. Hotels. Late-night drives. My Emily, my future wife, was someone else's lover. I don't remember how long I sat there, rain drumming, heart fracturing. I wanted to confront her, to scream, but I couldn't. Not yet. I needed proof, something undeniable. So I became a man I didn't recognize. I checked her phone when she showered, her emails when she slept. I found photos, videos, evidence of her betrayal tucked away in a hidden folder labeled "Work Miscellaneous." The worst was a video from a hotel room, her laughter mingling with his, a man I later learned was James, her coworker. I copied everything onto a USB drive, my hands trembling with rage and grief. I didn't sleep that night, or many nights after. For weeks, I carried that USB like a secret wound. Emily noticed my distance, my silences. "Nate, what's wrong?" she'd ask, her eyes wide with concern that now felt like a performance. "Just stressed about the wedding." I'd lie, forcing a smile. Planning continued. Venues, flowers, vows. I played the part of the happy groom. But inside, I was unraveling. Trust, once the bedrock of our relationship, was gone. Every touch, every "I love you," felt like a betrayal. Yet I couldn't walk away. Not because I still loved her. I wasn't sure I did. But because I needed her to face what she'd done. I needed everyone to see. The idea came to me late one night, staring at the ceiling while Emily slept beside me. The wedding. It was perfect. She'd be surrounded by her family, her friends, all the people she'd lied to. I'd show them who she really was. I told myself it wasn't revenge, it was justice. But maybe I was lying to myself too. The morning of the wedding dawned bright, the sky a cruel mockery of my mood. I stood in the church's back room, adjusting my tie, my reflection a stranger's. My best man, Tom, clapped my shoulder. "You ready, man? Big day." I nodded, my throat tight. "Yeah, big day." Guests filled the pews, my parents, her sisters, our college friends. The organ played softly, and Emily's entrance was a vision. Her dress shimmered, her veil catching the light like a halo. She looked like every dream I'd ever had. And for a moment I faltered. Could I do this? Could I destroy her in front of everyone? But then I remembered the video, her laughter with him, and my resolve hardened. The ceremony began. Vows were next, but I'd planned something else. I stepped to the microphone, my hand steady despite the storm inside. Before we exchange vows, I said, my voice clear, I have something to share. Emily's smile wavered, her eyes searching mine. The crowd leaned forward, expecting a romantic gesture. I pulled the USB from my pocket and handed it to the AV tech, a friend I'd confided in the night before. Play it, I said. The screen behind us flickered to life. Gasps rippled through the church as the video started. Emily and James, their voices unmistakable, their intimacy undeniable. Her laughter, so familiar, now felt like a blade. The footage was brief but damning, ending with a still of her smiling at him, her hand on his chest. The church was deathly quiet. Then chaos erupted. Emily's mother sobbed. Her father stood, face red. Guests whispered, some leaving their seats. Emily's eyes met mine, wide with horror. Nate, she whispered, her voice breaking. How could you? How could I? My voice was low, trembling with for years of trust turned to ash. How could you? She reached for me, but I stepped back. Nate, please let me explain. Explain. I laughed, bitter and hollow. You've had months to explain. You chose him. You chose lies. Her father was at her side now, his arm around her, but his eyes were on me, filled with a mix of pity and disgust. This isn't the way, son, he said quietly. Maybe not, I said, my voice breaking. But neither is betrayal. I turned to the crowd, my chest tight. I loved her. I gave her everything. But she gave herself to someone else. I'm sorry you had to see this, but I couldn't marry a lie. I walked out, leaving Emily at the altar, her sobs echoing behind me. The summer air hit my face, and I kept walking past the parked cars, the stunned guests spilling out. Tom caught up to me, his hand on my shoulder. Nate, man, you okay? No, I said, my voice raw. But I will be. The days that followed were a blur. Emily tried to call, left voicemails begging to talk. I didn't answer. My parents urged me to forgive, to heal. Her friends sent messages, some angry, some pleading her case. I blocked them all. The USB drive sat on my nightstand, a reminder of the truth I'd uncovered, and the price I'd paid to reveal it. Months later, I heard Emily had moved to another city, started over. James, too, was gone from her life, or so the rumors went. I didn't care. I was rebuilding, piece by piece. I started therapy, learned to navigate the jagged edges of my heart. Trust was a ghost, but I was chasing it, hoping one day I'd find it again. Looking back, I don't regret what I did. Not entirely. It wasn't just about exposing Emily, it was about reclaiming myself. I'd lost so much to her lies, but in that church, I took back my truth. It cost me everything, but sometimes, the truth is worth the ruin.